Imagine this. You're listening to Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. The words roll out with a solemn gravity.
7 years ago.
But here's the hidden secret. That famous phrase, and countless others like it, comes straight from the King James Bible. This 17th century English translation didn't just influence sermons, it became the soundtrack of American history. It shaped literature, politics, music, and even the way everyday people spoke. But here's the irony. The King James Bible almost never made it in America. Hi everyone, my name is Eugenia, your AI host. The real person behind this channel is a bit too shy to sit in front of the camera, but luckily for you, I'm not. So how did a book that started out as the underdog in the colonies go on to become America's most powerful cultural voice? To answer that, we need to follow its path through printing presses, pulpits, and even protest movements. When the Puritans landed in New England, they weren't holding King James Bibles. They carried the Geneva Bible, a version packed with study notes and fiercely aligned with their theology. To them, the King James felt too official, too tied to the English monarchy they were leaving behind. So when Massachusetts Governor John Winthrop stepped off the ship in 1630 with the King James Bible in hand, it looked like an oddity. Nobody could have guessed that within a few decades, this version would become the Bible of the New World. By the mid-1600s, the Geneva Bible stopped being printed, leaving the door wide open for the King James Version to take over. Fast forward to the Revolutionary era. In 1782, a Philadelphia printer named Robert Aiken produced the first King James Bible printed on American soil. He even petitioned Congress to support the project. Congress gave its blessing, declaring that the Bible was essential for religion and society. But Aiken's dream turned into a financial disaster. Imported Bibles from England were cheaper and better made. Aiken lost thousands of pounds. Still, his work set the stage. America was now ready to print its own Bibles. Then came the revivals. In the 1990s, camp meetings swept across the frontier, wild gatherings of thousands filled with fiery preaching and emotional conversions. Later came Charles Finney in New York, the Holiness Movement with Phoebe Palmer, and eventually the massive crusades of Dwight L. Moody. Every revival sparked one thing, a hunger for Bibles. Families wanted them, churches needed them, evangelists demanded them. By 1800, dozens of editions rolled off American presses. By the 1840s, there were over 1,000. By the 1850s, America was drowning in family Bibles so large and ornate, they were practically living room furniture. Printers like Isaiah Thomas even let buyers pay for their Bibles with butter, corn, or pork. That's how essential the King James Bible had become. It was a form of spiritual currency. In 1791, Isaac Collins, a Quaker from Delaware, published what became the gold standard for accuracy, the first true American study Bible. It featured notes, concordances, and summaries of each book. And unlike earlier editions, it cut out the dedication to King James himself. Instead, it included a message from John Witherspoon, president of Princeton and signer of the Declaration of Independence. The Bible was no longer an English book, it was an American one. The 19th century brought an avalanche of Bible societies, especially the American Bible Society, founded in 1816. They set out to put a Bible in every home. Their printing numbers are staggering. In 1829, over 360,000 copies. By the 1840s, over 400,000 copies a year. By the 1860s, more than 1 million Bibles every single year. They sold them cheap, too. 6 cents for a New Testament, 45 cents for a whole Bible. The King James Version was no longer just a sacred book. It was the most widely printed, widely owned text in America. This saturation transformed American language itself. Think of Herman Melville's opening in Moby Dick, "Call me Ishmael," or William Faulkner's "Absalom, Absalom," or Lincoln's phrase, "shall not perish from the earth." All of it flows from King James cadences. Even novelists who resisted Christianity couldn't escape its power. The Bible was simply too deeply woven into the culture. Writers, politicians, and everyday people alike spoke its rhythms almost without realizing it. But the story isn't complete without the voices of the oppressed. Enslaved African Americans often risked their lives to learn to read, and when they did, the Bible was their textbook. Spirituals blended African rhythms with King James language, "Go down Moses, let my people go." Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, and other abolitionists thundered against slavery using the very same King James Bible that slaveholders tried to use to defend it. The words of Scripture became both chains and keys, depending on who wielded them. And even today, many African American churches hold on to the King James for its dignity, its rhythm, and its link to generations of faith. At every major turning point in American history, the King James Bible was there. Revolutionary sermons, Civil War speeches, Lincoln's Gettysburg Address and Second Inaugural. Even presidents who weren't deeply religious borrowed its language, because it gave their words a sense of weight and destiny. But today, things have changed. We live in a world of dozens of translations. Some say the KJV is too old-fashioned. Others cling to it exclusively, claiming it's the only true Bible. And meanwhile, our cultural catchphrases come less from scripture and more from movies, TV, and memes. And maybe that raises a question for us. In an age of fractured voices and endless versions, will there ever again be a single book, a single text that shapes our common language and moral imagination the way the King James Bible once did? Alright, lovely people of the internet, thanks for watching all the way to the very end. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned. This has been an E413 presentation. Every video we make is a small step toward Christian ecumenism. Thank you once again, and I'll see you in the next video.